Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our broadcast here again. We're back here on this 175th edition. The Issues Room is the alternative media platform here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on the Issues Room page. We broadcast on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and on Friday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11 p.m. in Liberia. Our broadcast is always here Tuesdays and Fridays, and we encourage you to share the link, invite others to join us as we come here to discuss the contemporary and trending news out of our country. It hasn't been easy over the last several months with political, you know, fanfare in the country, presidential aspirants and now candidates uh, became certificated. We have 20 in the race, and a lot of those folks were searching for vice standard bearer to be with them, who the common term is VSB, and you know, it became another momentum in the quest for vice presidential candidates. And it was crazy all over the place. People were looking forward to who would be named. And, as it stands now, George Weah, the incumbent, is standing with a repeat. And I say a repeat because Joel Howard Taylor remains his running mate. And we have Joseph Boyka, who people were in small quarters thinking he would pick Yumli Kanga Lawrence, but to the surprise of many Liberians and even the insiders, he selected Senator Jeremiah Coon from the MDR, the Movement for Democratic Reformation or Reconstruction, put it that way, the party headed by Prince Johnson. And Jeremiah Coon is the running mate to Mr. Joseph Boyka. Then come Alexander B. Cummings, who was all over the place. He tapped into getting Jeremiah Coon, who turned him down. He went to Yumli Kanga Lawrence, who also turned him down. And he was finally able to select Charlene Bromskin. And Mrs. Bromskin, or Miss Bromskin, actually, not married yet, using her father's name. Miss Bromskin is a counselor, and she is of the Liberty Party. And she's the running mate to Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. And the list goes down. And so where we are right now is the campaign that officially started last Saturday. We'll be looking at some of the videos trending on social media. We'll, critique those videos, talk about what potential they have to either make or break as we move toward our national elections on October 10th. I just wanted to give you a little hint as to where we are tonight. We say thank you for coming through every time when we're here. We encourage you to join us. Raymond Clark, watching from South Dakota, not Texas this time around, for Jamonu. Thank you, my brother. As usual, it's good to see you. Again, please share the link. Invite others to join us here tonight. The conversation going to be great. I have two of my colleagues already in studios. Let me welcome the prominent uh, issue room man, one of the prominent folks here,
All
Moses Sen,
right.
and also one of our
Thank you.
discussants who has
Thank you, Volcano. Thank you.
Mr. Samuel Z. Abu. My man, what is Z for? Zize?
Zina. Is he hearing you?
I even know the man looking just he looking up in
Well,
the
they're looking in his car.
air. Samuel Abu,
Mr.
can
Abu,
you
are
hear
you
us?
there?
All right.
I think he's frozen.
Is that frozen? Just go ahead. Welcome.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Volcano. It's a pleasure. You see, tonight I'm coming to you and coming to the rest of our people from a vehicle. Last evening we had a problem in our community. We had a storm, and that impacted my internet, affected my routers, so I couldn't broadcast from my studio. Today, the technical people are supposed to come and see what they can do about that. So I just want to let my people know that hey, I'm not from a regular broadcast studio, but it's This is a commitment. Is something that we look forward to. Also, we'll do everything we can to make sure that we're part of this. So, Vakana, it's a pleasure to always team up with you. This is a journey that we started, close to 2 years ago, right?
September 14 would be the second year anniversary.
Yeah, you see, so we're right there, So, it's a pleasure being here. It's a pleasure being here, educating, informing, and journalism is our passion.
But you know,
So,
one thing
thank you.
I'd like to add to this is that people think that this is an ordinary feat. It is not. The commitment here is just, it's just, it's something you can't put money on. And even if we're being paid, just the commitment by itself, Moses, is just uh, solid. Put it that way. I
Yeah,
come running from work to set up to get you guys. You know, we talk about cutting promo, we talk about planning the show, we talk about the research put into it, getting guests. If even we're talking about, specific topics, we need to do our background check, we need to
background. Yeah,
work done. We're not just a talk show person or someone who comes here, take the telephone and just talk to you and don't care what it's saying,
yeah,
what makes sense.
yeah.
No. These are professional broadcasters who are doing this out of the passion of what we've done over time in our lives, and we just can't let go of that first love of our career path. And that is what,
Absolutely.
and some of the young people who see what we're doing can emulate to learn, and understand. In fact, a friend of mine who is setting up a television station in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, reached out to me and wants us to put a little what you call
Okay,
training together for the
okay,
for the staff there. He said
okay.
they don't know where to start from and where to go. So
Sure.
Emmanuel Malo will be one of the trainers. I'm trying to get Hassan Kewu. I might get you, Alfonso. We can put something together and
Yeah,
share, with those people back home to give them some kind of tool as
and done.
to begin with. But we're not here for long tonight. We're here for an hour and a half precisely. And so to cover grounds, Abu apparently got kicked out of the studio. Moses, the story
Yeah,
here is that campaign for the presidential, senatorial, representative, all of the different elections, what we call presidential and general elections, started this past Saturday. I was
yeah.
on the road and I had the opportunity to see some clips because one of the guys on the trip with me was checking just to see what was happening. And we saw a lot of things happening on the first day. In fact, it rained so
Oh,
heavy,
yes, it
and
did. Yeah,
surprisingly, people were all in the rain. So that tells you this election is the make or break of our country. Everyone is saying it. All the other election then, let the Liberian man say, all I want is not important. They want here that the important one. Samuel Abu is still having problem. But let's start this conversation, Moses. What?
and
Yeah.
before I even start, Vakana, let me just add on to what you said with a direct quote from the former Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, former Speaker of the disbanded Transitional Legislative Assembly, Maurice Momolu Ducle. He said this election is consequential because Liberia is at a crossroad. So that means to say that this election is a do or die. This is the election that will decide whether Liberia will make progress or it will retrogress for another 6 years. I just wanted to say this to support what you said.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so as I was saying, so we come here to have this conversation. We're not just your regular folks who come here, pick up our telephone and just say, "I go in live. If I get fired, people, I can't talk. I got breaking news." Then they can't no news. Oh. We
Yeah.
talk
You
about this.
gotta catch up no more.
Yeah, this stupid news we're waiting for. We can't get it. News. Finally, they kind of talk nonsense, right? We're not.
Yeah.
We're not all kinds of people. So the number
Yeah.
15 doesn't matter because I believe in the principles of God. He says where two or three are gathered. I'll be there.
Yeah.
So when our faithful audience shows up here every night, when I say every night, meaning the 2 nights of our broadcast, I'm
Yeah.
confident to have a great conversation because at the end of the day, I remained firm that these things stay in the archive of social media. Yes,
Absolutely.
now when Moses Sandy is no more and Volcano is no more, our legacy will still live on because
Yeah.
some kids who didn't know of us will say, "Oh, wait a minute, there used to
What
be
is that?
this show platform or whatever it is called the Issues Room." So, what you do with yourself now, whether the numbers or no numbers, must be as professional, as ethical, as profound. Putting your life, your energy, your talent, your sweat into it because it lives after you. If you
Yeah.
come here haphazard, unprepared, and just think you're going to come talk because now social media is free platform, everybody can talk, then that's on you. But when we come here to present substance. So as I was
Absolutely.
saying, let's talk about the start of the campaign.
Yes.
So
Uh,
you go.
the you said the campaign. The campaign started on the 5th, which was last Saturday. And Volcano, a lot of things have been obtaining in Liberia. One video that I saw that really stood out in terms of negativity was the video with a group of young men from the ruling CDC carrying a coffin. And on that coffin, they had the photos with the current stand-up bearer of the Unity Party, the former Vice President Joseph Boakai, and they were all chanting the slogan, "Rest in peace, rest in peace." On the first day of what? General and presidential elections campaign in Liberia. Individuals from the ruling party, even the chair of the youth wing, the secretary general of the ruling party, Jefferson Koji, gives a young man thumbs up. What does that tell you, Volcano? Where are we headed to? This is the government that's supposed to what? Sustain and maintain the peace and stability of Liberia. And its supporters carrying a casket of a very prominent citizen, somebody who is also a key competitor. What will we see next week? What will we see the next 3 weeks from now? What will the ruling party people do? Yes, we have seen.
Let's be careful as they say the ruling parties. Just say what would the political parties do?
Yeah, but yeah, let me say this. Yeah, we have seen, and that is the common thing with the ruling CDC. They think they are smarter than everybody. After the men were in the street, carrying this coffin, referring to it as that of containing the remains of the current center bearer of Unity Party, the chair of the uh, the campaign committee, Eugene Nangbe, issued a statement saying that the party condemned what happened. But we know how you guys operate. That was the orchestration of the very ruling CDC. And a day after that, Mr. Weir come and say, "Yeah, we condemn Mr. Weir. We know how you guys operate." That's not good for our country.
All right, Moses, let me play the
Yeah,
video.
let me stop there. Yes.
People you have to monitor. This is the Liberian Television Network. We don't know what may happen. Okay, I think you can see there. On the other link is CDC, and the next thing is the Unity Party. Please monitor and see what will happen there. Just the Liberian Television Network coming to you live from. Oh my God! Look at what is happening here. Look at what is happening here, my people. Unity Party and CDC are in the street. Are in the street. The Castillo Chosen Human Potter and Unity Party people are in the street. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. What is happening? This is the Liberian Television Network coming to you live. Coming to you live. See what is happening here today. See what is happening here today. See what is happening here today, my people. Just celebrate with the television network. The Unity Party people are in the street, and the citizens are also in the street. See what is happening here. This is the Liberian Television Network coming to you live. See what is happening here. The Unity Party people are in the street, and the CDC people are in the street. Oh my people, what is happening here today? What is happening in Monrovia today?
And Moses, the young man being unprofessional, all he's doing is just being repetitive here. Yeah, the people in the street see what is happening.
He's not a broadcaster, yeah.
Yeah, instead of capturing people, jumping into, all you're doing
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah, the man was just literally screaming, yeah.
happening here. So that is why we rather don't get some of the real, true pieces when it comes to journalism. But let's look at the video and let's see if Abu is now ready because he keeps going in and out. Abu, can you hear us? Samba Abu.
Yeah, I'm just too low.
What?
I don't know. I think there's a problem with the internet.
No, we are hearing you. We are hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you break everything is breaking in. I'm trying to get it on another source.
Okay, then try. We'll come back to you. So as I was saying, but let's look at the situation here. We already understand what casket represents.
Yeah.
Casket represents death. Casket represents someone who is gone. There's always, or it has always been the cry of all of the political pundits who are against the UP to say that Joseph Boyga is an ailing man, he's sick, he will soon die, all kinds of things people are saying. So this only sum it up when you parade at the onset of the campaign carrying the casket with the picture as a depiction of the death of the owner. This should rather have never happened. In the first place, these guys don't just do things without the insiders giving them the green light to. I don't think a bunch of citizens just pick up casket and started running. We know that this is the modus operandi. They've done it before. They ran with casket during Ellen Johnson's relief time. They even ran with symbols of menstruation, all of that.
Yeah.
That tells you the raw, filtered, like I said, Sonny Wen politics, that even in the face of peace for our country, right? In the face of peace, in the face of sustaining peace, when people have signed an agreement that they will respect, right? The process. These are the things that have the potential to create havoc. And when people say they're condemning it, I don't know the depth of the condemnation and the sincerity of the condemnation.
No sincerity, Volcano. It is something that I can tell you it was premeditated, orchestrated, with the acquiescence of senior executives of the CDC. And you know what is even more frustrating, Volcano? Since that thing happened on Saturday, the NEC, the National Elections Commission of Liberia, that has the mandate to govern this process, is yet to issue a statement condemning what happened on Saturday.
Well, some may disagree.
Sorry,
You,
sorry, sorry. Go
you
ahead.
see that, Volcano?
Mhm.
The NDC is yet to condemn what happened.
Okay, so let's move on here quickly. I was trying to grab something here, and
Yeah.
Mr. Weah is also. I'm not sure if this is the video. No, I don't think that's the video. I'm looking for the.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the video here. I can't get it. So you said I should go to the rendezvous.
As we closing your charming for this book, the lines.
Quick.
Yeah. If you want to do that, but if not, we can move to our next discussion, and which also has to do with the ruling party.
Yeah, continue what you were saying
Okay.
real quick.
So the next phase of the discussion has to do with national security. The government continues to preach. I don't know, it is out of hypocrisy, but the government continues to preach that it wants a peaceful and orderly general and presidential election come October the 10th. Predicated on that, the national security apparatus of Liberia.
But before you get to that,
Yes.
Snow also spoke on this. So let's see what Snow says.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Let's see what he says regarding the condemnation. But,
Yeah,
but,
the
but
casket.
yeah, anyway, is a press statement. You
Okay,
always
go
say
ahead.
videos are here when I come, I can't find them. So just talk
Mhm.
about this thing because I can't find the video here.
Okay. So what I what I was saying to you, Volcano, today the national security apparatus of Liberia convened a meeting of heads of political parties in Liberia. And the purpose of that meeting was to convey to the federal heads and presidential candidates that people should do everything to make sure that the election is held peacefully. I think it is a laudable initiative. At that meeting, we had the vice tenor bearer of the Unity Party, Senator Jeremiah Kuhn, attended. Charlie Bronskin represented Mr. Cummings. Councillor Gonglo was in attendance. And most of the senior executives or standard bearers of opposition political parties attended. And guess what, Volcano? As the meeting was going on, Mr. Weah and his CDC folks were in District 8 campaigning. How a ruling government calls people to discuss national peace, and the people who are currently in charge of national security in the country are at a different location on a political campaign. Isn't that double standard? Volcano? How do you tell me to come to your house for us to talk about national peace while I am at your house? You are in the neighborhood doing something completely different. That was a disrespect. You tell me now, Volcano? Is that responsibility on the part of the president?
Isn't
He
isn't
should have been. Go
isn't
ahead.
what isn't what we talk about all the time that the president misses opportunities uh that could score big for him, right?
Yes.
And all of these intense to me, they will read out to be superficial. Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, the picture you saw, there's Moses, with all of these guys running the streets in all that heavy downpour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand if that is what they consider to be campaign. It's just organized or disorganized campaign. I don't think it's organized campaign, it's disorganized campaign because people are looking for opportunity to create some kind of stampede, some
Mm-hmm.
kind of hostility that will
Yeah.
require us to slow pacing again as we, go through our peace process.
Yeah.
Because when people think that we have peace, we don't have peace. We have a peace process. And I want Liberian people to hear me again. Oh, you can say we have peace. This is not peace. This is a peace process. Liberia is still going through the peace process. When you have the right governance in place, corruption is impeding your country's economy. If you can put some great degree of check on corruption, minimize it to a point where respectability comes in the process, the rule of law takes course. You understand me? The issues of our young people who are hooked to drugs are being addressed, our infrastructure being attended to, our all of those things are the what? The existential foothold of peace in the country.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
don't have those things functional, when you don't have those things in place, then you are going through a peace process. So
I
Liberia
agree.
is in a peace process. So for people to say, "Oh, we got peace," we are saying sustain the peace. What peace you sustaining when you got all of this happening? You're not sustaining no peace because you
It's
barely
not.
control the situation. You understand me? When things
Mm-hmm.
go out of hand, you're more reactionary to the issues in the country than proactive to the issues in the country. So we're going through a peace process. And so the point I was trying to drive, the peace process can only be sustained when the president and the ruling government is congruent, is sincere, and is demonstrating that they really have
Committed.
control over
Yeah.
the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But when you
I
have
agree.
young people flying around doing whatever they want through the masterminding of insiders within the leadership, then and who doesn't know when things happen that it just doesn't happen? Somebody gives the green light. Like in the case of the Prince Johnson situation, those guys
Yeah.
they playing Ludo and say, "Oh, gentlemen, you know what? You don't go to Prince Johnson."
That's good. Some people were told to go and do that.
They were not just playing Ludo, or they were
No.
not playing Telepa, and they just got to say, "Let's go
Oh,
down."
man.
You understand me? Something must give, and so that's the point here. So like Bureau doesn't have peace. We are going through a peace process, and because we're going through a peace process, we still have everything to lose if we continue to play with this fragile peace process that we're going through.
The people were told to go and do it. I agree with you 100%. And let's do a review of what the president himself said today when he went to District 8. Let's look at them one at a time. He said when he took over Liberia, he was confronted with the problem of COVID. When COVID struck, and it is true, when COVID struck, it affected the global economy. We all agree to that. And then he comes to say, in less than 4 months, less than 4 years, he has been able to accomplish more than all successive presidents. Volcano, is that true? The mere boast of Liberia having a stable economy. Is the Liberian economy stable? You hear me?
I'm hearing you. I mean, go
Yeah,
ahead. Tell us.
yeah. He says today's Liberia, the economy is stable. Today's Liberia is far ahead in terms of healthcare. Today's Liberia, the educational system is upscale. It has improved. That's what I want us to look at Mr. Weah's falsehood in segments. Is the economy in Liberia stable? You have a budget that is almost $800 million. Yet your hospitals are in shambles. When Mr. Salih was president, the Liberian government on an annual basis to the hospitals in the Leeward counties receive what? $200,000 for operational costs. When Mr. Weah and his people came to power, they reduced that to $100,000. Yet, they are not made any payment to any hospital. Mr. Salif administration.
Hold on there, Moses. Let's not do this because will be. I won't side with you here. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf the debts were wept under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf got more support, more monies, $200,000 to healthcare institution when her cronies walk away with millions of dollars. When being most of the business investment, it was direct that benefit. I'm not down that road with you. Hold on. Just talk about the reality of Weah. Let them make comparison because Ellen is no better than Weah because she got Weah where he is now. Let's leave Ellen out of the talk about Weah.
Let me Ellie out of the picture.
No comparison. Ellie had more than
Volcano, in these kind of discussions, when you're having them, you need to do a comparative analysis.
Comparative analysis.
Okay. So let's leave Elling administration out and let's be rational. Based on what is obtaining into this Liberia. And that is a statement that came from the outgoing ambassador, U.S. ambassador, McCarty. Yes. How can Mr. Weah tell us that the Liberian economy is stable when government institutions are underperforming because they have no logistical support? How can Mr. Weah boast that the Liberian economy is thriving when public servants are not paid consistently?
Well, let's come back here, Moses. Let me add this in quickly.
Yes.
In the first place, this is the era of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to merge the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs and call it the Ministry of Finance and whatever and Development Planning. The Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. That was the first boo-boo that Ellen made. Those are two separate entities. Those are two very specialists. Okay? You take Amar Kone, who has no degree in finance, no degree in economy or economics rather, and you make him a minister. All right? Two critical positions you tie in and give it to somebody who has no background. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
You have this minister, Samuel Toure, who has no economic, when I say I'm talking about real substantive economic background, finance.
Yeah, we're not talking about psychometry, right?
Yeah. And then you merge those ministries to make one ministry. So what you're doing, you're hurting the economy. The man's focus is on finance. His focus is not on the economy. Where's the days of talk about non-Tipotel? Where's the days of Emilio Ward? Okay? Right? Those were the people who had economic background, grew up through the ranks and files, and they maintain that side of the country's governance system, which is the economy. But you watch it and you don't put it in someone's hand who has the absolute background to perform in the role.
Mm-hmm.
So let us not talk about the economy because doesn't know about the economy. We had told you the last time when the red supply is something, he said something. I don't know what he was saying, but I got confused myself. I said, all right, it's okay, we accept it, right? So
Yeah.
I guess we have things that when he wakes up, he can get his Hennessy SO, he can chill, enjoy himself, so the economy is stable.
The economy is
I
good.
guess
Yeah.
we are doesn't understand the inflation right now, but the rate is high, the prices have gone up for him because the Liberian people have resolved to maintain the peace process, not the peace. I repeat myself, not the peace, but the peace process. So he believes the economy is stable. Even the great
Yeah.
America's economy is not stable. You go to the gas pump, by tomorrow the gas is now $4. The next day it's $3.50.
It's trouble.
Milk, all of that. How can Liberia, that is not income generated through its natural resources, that doesn't have a robust governing system, economic systems in place to generate, except for the taxes they're taxing businesses and the Liberian people who already struggling to raise money, and you say the economy is stable. What makes the economy stable? When you have,
Where's the stability?
I'm coming, Moses, when you have unemployment rate exceptionally high, people
Yeah.
cleaning every day to come out of school, there's nothing to do. What makes an economy stable? When people can work and contribute tax money back into the economy, when businesses are profiting and can infuse tax money back into the economy. Those are the things that make economy stable. You can't even support your security forces in the country. Police officers look so disheveled. They're all in the street with navy blue. Instead of navy blue, they're wearing gray and khakis because the uniform is the one uniform when they graduate from the academy and you give them. They're underfunded, they're undermanned, they're under
Supported.
served and supported, no resources. So when you talk economy, don't just look at that thing, the word the economy. Look at all of the different attributes that make up an economy.
Absolutely.
Those are all of the things that this government doesn't have hand on, and they're claiming to have a stable economy.
Yeah, absolutely right. How many jobs have they been able to create? How many jobs since they came as a government? How many jobs? How many companies? How many constructions have moved to Liberia and set up businesses or created jobs for ordinary Liberians? How many? And Mr. Weah impulsively stands before a group of people and say, what we have accomplished, no other administration in the history of Liberia has been able to do that.
So you see what the guy said? Hold on. You
Mm.
see what
Yeah.
Jackie said here?
Mm.
Ellen is worse than we are because Ellen is educated and we are isn't. So when you're making comparative analysis between the two, you can't make that. You can't make that. You can't tell me Ellen get 200,000 and we are 100,000. Ellen should have given 1 million for healthcare rather than 200,000. She had the education. She has the education. She had the support. She had the biggest United Nations force ever in peacekeeping. That in itself was income generating for the economy.
Mhm.
Okay? She had concession deals. She had companies, viable companies in the country. So I don't like to talk about that woman. Yeah, please. Yeah, I don't like to talk about that woman.
Violence.
Yeah, it can have my feeling, my man. That woman ain't correct. And she's trying to make mess again with this. Yeah. That was
And
Liberian people just peaceful. Huh? They just decided peace process.
Avocado, let's laugh about this one. Mr. Weir said his administration has built more roads as compared to all administration since 1847. What is the status of the Roberts International Airport? The road leading that highway, the Roberts International Airport Highway. You've been to Liberia, you are en route to Liberia. What is the status of that role?
But what are you asking for the start of the people working? At least working. Don't let me listen. Let's not do that. If we are claims that he built more roads, that's fine. But with the RIA, they said the people working. So it's a process. Let's go back to the campaign.
Yeah, we're just analyzing some of the things that he said today,
I agree.
And why he thinks that he should be re-elected.
For him, that's campaign messages. If the Liberian people can see right in front of them what is trending, then so be it, right? Because you know.
So as career journalists, this is where we come in to review what he said and say, hey, Mr. President, he said this, but the record reflects that you are in the error on this. And that's what we're doing. How can this man boast of a stable economy when the government cannot account for the $25 million that they said they were going to use for what? What's the name? What?
The mop-up exercise?
The mop-up exercise. When Samuel told Liberians that he took money to what? Douala and gave them to market or money exchanges. How can Mr. Weah boast about national security when today the government is yet to tell the people of Liberia what happened to the auditors? He said they have been able to maintain the peace and stability. So if you are being able to maintain the peace and stability of the country, what happened to your auditors? What happened to that young man that was severely beaten at the U.S. Embassy by CDC supporters? How do you boast of national security when the police cannot patrol the various communities because what? There are no patrol vehicles.
Okay, let's stop there, Moses. So yeah, what it is. This is the opposition needs to rebut. This is where the opposition should be making the case. Okay? We are telling the Liberian people, due to the lack of education, due to the blindness, and when I say the Liberian people, I'm talking about the people who are not, able to really see through what is happening. They probably jump in the streets like everybody else, and they enjoy that. They want to be a part of the fanfare. They call it in the photo. But this is where Cummings should come. This is where Joe Barker should come. This is where Moneybar should come. Cyril Beslo Yanati, Simeon Freeman. These are the people who should be saying, this is what you're saying, but these are the reality, and this is how we're going to change what you're saying. But if everybody just come and run around the place and you call this a campaign, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. That's what I'm saying. Is this organized campaign? It's not organized campaign. We have not had any kind of debate. People are not rebutting the negatives that people are saying or the lies that people are spewing. It's just going to come back to October 10. People are going to blindly stand in the line, and people are going to vote and blindly vote. See, for instance, here is another campaign trail here for Unity Party.
The Unity Party, as you can see here, it is not easy for it's also down. This is the whole time of Ambassador Joseph Imabwakai, a political aspirant of the Unity Party here right in Foya District. As you can see, we just joined you now currently this morning on the Labro TV here live on this live coverage here right in Foya District. As you can see here, the citizens of Foya who knows the truth, and yes indeed, in making sure that JMB become president of Brother Liberia. It is not easy here today, right in Foya here. As you can see, the security apparatus also here to guide the process.
Security apparatus. 3 men, 1 immigration man, 1 policeman. I don't know who the other man right here. Security apparatus Foya District right there.
Security apparatus, man, they even get a baton.
If something breaks out here right now, what can these 3 men continue? That because the uniform, because you're not going to say this all in uniform, right? But
Yeah.
this is what it is.
To see how best that this particular day today become a successful to the citizens of this place to get a massive security protection here, as you can see. So keep watching.
So the man said that 3 men will give massive security protection. That campaign is right?
We bring you live on Today Abroad TV here, giving you live coverage here. As you can see, the numerous of people are still at the back there, working to come here. So, folks, whatsoever you are, you join us on Today Abroad TV right in Foya, this County.
So I say this to say, and we'll just go,
Yeah.
Here. But I say this to say that we're having the campaign, and quite frankly, you ask some of these people why they're walking in the street, they can't tell you anything.
No.
Ask some of these people that mind already made up, they say that JMB, right?
Yeah.
Ask some of them, they don't even want to know who the 19 candidates are. They're just going for George Weah.
Yeah.
Some of them, they don't want to know who the 19 candidates are. They're just going for Alexander Cummings. They are not able to weigh the cards on the table.
Absolutely.
So even with what we do here, right? What we do here is an attempt to educate and to enlighten. But is it sufficient? The political aspirants, the presidential candidates, themselves are the ones who should be selling themselves. The media teams should be the one working extra hard to sell them. The campaign chairperson, the campaign committees, those are the people. That's why they must put resources into it. You and I can't come here and run campaign for anybody. We're running for Liberia. We're trying to enlighten our citizens. So if George Weah says things that is not the truth, we can point to it. Same for any other, candidate who come and make up stories and say, they're going to pay 300,000 in one day. So that's the situation, and that's what we're doing. So quite frankly, all we can do is to continue to try to enlighten. But the story is, you take the cow to the water, you can't force it to drink. Some of these people, they're already in the white t-shirt, they're carrying Joseph Boakai. Some of the people in the red t-shirt and blue t-shirt, they're carrying either Cummings or they're carrying, what's his name, George Weah. That's just the reality.
Look, Volcano, you are 100% right. Unfortunately, one of the foremost.
I think Abu is still struggling here tonight. I'm not sure
Yeah.
coming.
So one of the foremost challenges we have in Liberia is that when it comes to election in terms of politics, our people do not vote on the basis of issues. Our people vote on the basis of who knows you. He's my uncle. We went to the same high school. We come from the same community. We come from the same church. We belong to the same ethnic group. So our people, our elections are not issue driven. If our elections are issue driven, like all these things you and I talking here, this is where the electorate will sit down. He said, no, let me look at the Volcano shelter, man. Yeah, we all work at ELBC together, yeah. But the man said he will pay mansion. But where the man will take the money from now? The man even get bicycle. He telling me, say, you will pay mansion, now will vote for the man? The man say, when you made me representative today, I will build 200 rows. But the man said, let me in my apartment. Where would the man take the money from? That's what our people have not been able to do. Critical thinking. Unfortunately, a greater percentage of our people or a greater percentage of our electorates accounts for what? The illiterates. People would lack the ability to comprehend what is obtaining around them.
Let me play another video quick.
So you are right, Volcano.
A slipway. Yeah. His Excellency President George Weah is in the ring. The Liberian leader is walking in the ring.
Then the man's in District 8.
He's been accompanied by District number 8 representative.
Because he's being accompanied by District number 8 representative, Honorable. So we have to try our possible best and make our way to the front.
The man is in District 8.
Because His Excellency President George Weah has already arrived here. Wherever you're following us from, we'd like to say thanks for following. We're already here at the Slipway Sport Pitch. We are already here at the Slipway Sport Pitch. Yeah. Trying to locate where I can see. Where? Where's the order?
Meet the president.
Yeah, walking competition, yeah. Walking competition, yeah. Whatever you say that it will happen, I want you to close your eyes and our platform guys will just stay and we pray. Please stay. National first-time voters.
You see how further the plane looks?
Amanda! TJ, can you please spell out your mistake for 2 minutes, please? How again?
Amanda! Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Dr. George Mane, we are here. Our distinguished and illustrious First Lady of the Republic of Liberia, Mr. Senator Amanda, we are here today for a single purpose. And that purpose is to execute the mandate October 10, 2022.
You see, he's so confused. He now say October 10, 2022. you see, John, we are. I think my man Abu is set on now. Abu, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, all right. So the man see John, we are. Before he said data, you know, he trying to give favor here. He said October 10, 2022. But let's hear from Akara's grade. Let's go ahead.
And that revolutionary mandate is to ensure that you give a one-round victory. If you believe in one-round victory, Amanda, authority. If you go to the ballot box, you have a mandate, and that is the popular mandate of the Mali Coalition for Democracy. That mandate is to vote President Weah come October 10. In that same mandate is the mandate of the Trinity. You are also to vote Senator Sir Joseph. You will not stop there in it. You have a responsibility to vote number 7
So, the people believe in the Trinity campaign or voting, whatever you want to call it, the senator and the representative. But these are the kinds of things that, when you look at here, you get confused. Abu, people are saying that, listen, don't underestimate George Weah. And let not the oppositions, and I use the word oppositions because they're all splinterized, but let them not think that this guy is still not popular. Because I must say I get confused. I don't think opposition candidates and opposition supporters are standing over there in the numbers. It would be a waste of their day and the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the crowd here, I see national first-time voters, I know young children who are 18 or 19 years old. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother serious part.
That's a whole population
when did
there.
it become national?
Well, my man, the people they made themselves.
My man, I people not tattoo to get themselves. Oh,
it is the illusion that they live under that everything they do in Monrovia is national in nature.
okay. Yeah, you're right.
So national first-time voters. So it means that the group they have in Monrovia representing the first-time voters in all of the counties.
In all of the counties.
Let's hear from Sir Joseph quick, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to them, they have no message. Everybody that really against President Weah, they are benefiting from President Weah.
You see the kind of broad.
You see how naive he is?
Yes. So you're talking about benefiting now.
The guy is acting like a kid.
So I mean, because I don't know what everybody has benefited from George Weah. I can say I don't know to what extent that Cummings has benefited from George Weah, because usually when you use the word benefits in the context of benefit, it means that we have put money in your pocket.
Direct support, yeah.
He did something for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So
that's why it should be. Yeah.
So Sarah Yanati Beslow has benefited from George Weah. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Thinking to myself.
And Volcano?
Alexander Cummings?
No.
Tiawon Gonglo?
Well,
I'm not sure about that.
You say one time the bar association needed money and the mansion and the government gave money. So
but I know we have money.
Benefit.
Yeah, but
and that's just what I wanted to talk about. Look, sometimes when we want to say these things, we just want to, hold back. But for someone who is seeking another 9 years as a senator, to be so naive that a certain government uses the money of the country to help another citizen of the country, and the senator comes to say all the people running against this man have benefited from this man. Absolute falsehood. Let's agree that at one point Mr. Weah helped Omer Boaka, but money did not come from the pocket of Mr. Weah. It was Liberia's money. Mr. Boaka served Liberia for 12 years as vice president. It's an entitlement. And you have a senator.
All right, let's go back to the guy.
Go ahead, yeah. You see that?
You don't benefit, then you go and run away, then you come back, you say you want to go against it. We cannot betray President Weah. This is the number 14,000 that we grab on the football field. Don't forget the 80s and 90s. Doing the sacrifices. I want to say to you, let's work together and for our country and for our country.
Either one got a beast stomach, the other people they're hungry. Yeah, you can talk plenty of that. But let me see who else they're coming to the podium. Let's see.
Supporter, stay in attention because
I think Eugene Abe spoke
Yeah,
yesterday.
Eugene Nagbe, can you
stay in
imagine?
attention because the president wants to have a chance to interact with the people of a particular district. The next round of activity will every district because in our numbers sometimes they say one place. So the next round of activities we will have 17 programs simultaneously concomitantly in all the 17 districts at the same time. But meanwhile, the president is engaging his people. The second thing I will say, on October 10, all citizens, all supporters of the president, all auxiliary of our president voters, wake up 4 a.m. Be at the polling place 4:30 a.m. We want to be the first vote. Fill the lines. Get ready and vote early. Because after voting, we have designated people to protect.
You hear that? You hear what that guy is saying?
Mhm.
What if 4 of the lines will want to be the first to vote?
Yeah.
So it means after they have voted, then
Mhm.
they will close the polling station.
That,
This franchise the other people because they went there first to fill up the line.
so
That is what
That's a
that is
statement.
what they want to do.
I'm coming, but that's a statement that should be questioned.
of course,
Because this guy didn't just say it. Eugene is
he's actually instigating the people
so
to do the wrong thing on
he
election day.
no. Stop, Mose.
I mean, that's what the man is saying. Mr. Abu, you can speak to that.
What he's trying to say here is this: they go first in the morning, they stand on the line, and then they will recycle themselves and come and stand on the line and act like they have not voted yet.
Yeah, but
and
listen,
then as that, they will be depriving other people from voting up until the time
but I'm trying to make this clear. Listen to me. This is clarity I want to give here. I don't want us to insinuate that he's giving the wrong message. I'm trying to make it understood here that the message is what has been planned. It's just by means that he's
Okay, he's conveying. Okay,
yes. I don't think that he's speaking,
as you did.
yes.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that that's part of the construct.
of course.
Yes.
So
I agree.
this kind should be scrutinized. A message of this kind should be brought to the attention of civil society, the media,
And the Elections Commission.
and the Elections Commission.
Yeah.
Because why tell your people to go and flood the lines,
Yes.
be the first to vote, and then after that, what happens?
What happened? So whatever I Moses Sandy, I was there on time, and they key, they're going to what? Literally prevent me from voting because they're going to be in what? Large number. You see that?
Those are their jingoistic strategies that they want to place in, and if other people don't understand it, they will come and flood the places. But I just want to look at a statement that Eugene Nangbe made that they are going to have programs in Monrovia at 17 places simultaneously. That is the time that we'll see the real strength of CDC. If they do it simultaneously. So when they have it in District 8, everybody from District 17, 15, they all come there and make it look like they are too many. But let them do it simultaneously and let us see
the strength.
All right, let's quickly go to Wea himself. He's now
Volcano.
Moses, let me go to Wea.
Chanting campaign slogans.
Let's go to the podium and join His Excellency.
Munya, Mate Congress Munya, first-time voters, all Zionists, members of the full estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today, first of all, to say, glory be to God, we are grateful that we reach that sky. Before I speak to you, I want to say again, thank you, confident reports me for the last 6 years. It's because of you I am to show what I'm made of. They told you that I was just a man footballer. I'm not a representative of this country, but you give me a mandate. And I'm happy to know that I exercise that confidence to the word of God and to your expectation. Today, what did not happen in my life, that what happened in your children's life today? I struggled to go to school. Today you have free. Today you have rice free. Today, our institution has their own building. Our leaders, counters, have papers. Today, you can see that we have a big and a great economy. Today,
Leeward counties have roads, fire fees being paid, free education.
What's the thing?
And
What's the impact?
hold on, guys. And a big economy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's leave the wire fee. Let's leave the free education. Let's leave the roads in Leeward County. Let's talk about a big economy quick. What constitutes a big economy? When you bloat the budget to $800 million and you still have budget shortfall?
And you get 7 men to pass the national recast budget.
When you bloat the budget and you still can't pay people?
No investors coming.
Yeah.
Prices are going up for all major commodities, and they tell you it's because of the war in Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah.
So why other countries not crying that?
But I honor you.
Yeah. But let's go back.
Well, they are used to the blame games where they always say, oh, even the hard time are here, it's not only Liberia. Other countries are crying because of the war in Ukraine. When you tell them, oh, you have not done this, you expect President Weah to do this when Ellen did not do it, Dubaka did not do it, this person did not do it, and all of these people did not do it. They always look for an excuse to make you believe that they are the first, that you are just testing them to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear from this. Let's hear from him.
We are the most female in our government. Even the president, you cannot see it. Today, you have a press freedom. Today, you have peace. And I must thank you, Nigerian people, for restoring peace in our land. I can tell you, on the sound of my voice, most especially Commoners, the first-time voters, if you don't trust anyone, trust me. I am talking to you, but remember, man, everything I tell you, that's what I do. I came to you 6 years ago. After me as a president, Corona came. The Liberian people did not make excuse because of Corona.
Oh, so he didn't make excuse because of Corona. Is that true? They said the Corona. We heard him. We heard his ministers and all the people saying the
He
Corona.
said they, as a result of Corona, they experienced what economic recession. Then can you say I did not make any excuse? You see how contradictory he can be?
All right, let's go back.
Even with the 2 years that Corona took on us, I still perform well.
Yeah.
People believe around 4 years, they will be around Ebola. Everything that Ebola was.
So we are seeing that the Ebola story and the Corona story, both governments were not impacted, meaning his government was not impacted. Only the Ellen's government was impacted, and they made several excuses that things that they didn't do was as a result of the Ebola. But with him, he was steadfast
And he succeeded.
Right.
Yes. But I said to you, even with Corona,
Let's play this by extension.
and we must say, thank to God, we are grateful to God that the Corona did not take anything away from us. So I'm not going to make excuse for Corona. Corona came and developing the country.
Corona came and he was developing the country. He's not making any excuse about Corona. Let's continue.
But I will thank you, Nigerian people, for listening to me. In the period of Corona, the opposition told you otherwise, but it was not so. Every time they want to speak to you, they come to you with their political jargons. They tell you that the government that came one day, they tell you that the government stole 16 billion. Is that all I can tell you? But I can say to you, nothing was done because we allow our international partners to make sure and inquire what kind of 16 billion they were talking about. It was all fallacies and lies. Today they are ashamed. We have so many people just the other day we went to the night. On the list, we have about maybe 20 candidates this time. But I'm to number 18. If the Johnson number that worry and I begin the high score of the Champions League. So number 18, number 6 country. So number 18 number, when you go to the polling center, please. I know you're clever, but I want you to check from one thing, then you vote. I want you to go there and check 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then you go vote. 18th Street, 18th Street, 18th Street, 18th Street, 18th Street.
All right, guys, we got only 15 minutes left. Let's just wrap this up to the memory and what type of country is this, and be out of here. We're done campaign videos now.
Yeah, Volcano, the campaign videos, yes, they are good for playing. I'm sorry I'm coming today. What about today? Actually, the security, the national security had a meeting with the
Moses talked about it. He talked about it.
Well, no, let me share a perspective.
We don't have time. We don't have time, except you'll do it within a minute or two.
Remember? Yeah, I
will.
You see, because the thing with that meeting today, it was really intended to be proactive, because the campaign had already gone out of hand on the first day. So to be able to continue the campaign well, even though they called for all the presidential candidates, Mr. Weir did not come, and many other people did not come. CDC was not ably represented. They feel that it is not part, they are not supposed to be learning it. But we believe that the various security forces have to be on top of things. We cannot depend on the National Elections Commission or sometimes the courts. Sometimes it's very late at the time these reports go in, and people will have to be died. People will have to be dead at the time. A lot of people would have sustained injuries. Okay, because we saw what happened to Councillor Gonglo's campaign or protest they had the other day. People came from other places and infiltrated it, and they had people wounded. So we are saying that at this time, the security will have to be on top of things to ensure that if you say you are going to be protesting on Benson Street, make sure the other people must be far off on UN Drive, or they must be in other places. Because if we are not able to control these and they come into action, we are not going to have an election.
That's true. And,
so we have to start looking at things from a very positive stance, and we have to be very proactive. They have to show us, even though the election says anything about election violation, you should report to the Elections Commission, but the police and the security in general will have to be sure that they get on top of things. When they see things going out of hand, they have to move in immediately instead of waiting to say, well, let them go report to Elections Commission before Elections Commission come to us. We are still aware. No one must tell us that we still don't have regime policing and we don't have regime security. They are around. Because almost, we can say 60% of the people who are in the security forces today got their jobs because of their affiliation with the regime.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that pointer. Yeah. One thing I wanted to throw in quickly. This is where education comes in. Okay. This is where understanding your environment is critical. Listen to the campaign message of Mr. Weir. These are the things he talks about. He talks about WIAC fee, free education, roads, the economy, right? But whereas we are talked about the very first-time voter who are some of them Zogos, some are existing Zogos who voted for him 6 years ago. What has he done for that population? It's not a message. And this is the message because, for me, honestly, we have faces out in 6 years. He packs his stuff, goes and relaxes in Jamaica, in his wife's country, or anywhere else in the world. He's done with Liberia. All his business investment in Liberia will be sucking money and sending it to him for his own time to retire. What happens to these young people? This is the message that I'm looking for in these campaigns. And whether they say it just because they want to say it as lip service, but at least they'll be talking about it. But everything is about the WIAC fee, the free education, which is crap, the this, the that, the roads that are falling apart, the bridge falling down in what is in John. But they're not addressing the young people who are the heirs of the country's leadership for tomorrow. That's the point I wanted to make. Just make your 1 point quick. Let's move on.
Yeah, and quickly, I just wanted to say that, look, we have a problem in Liberia. The code of conduct, and I'm sure Mr. Abu can speak to that. The code of conduct frowns on government employees, government officials who elect to engage into politics. How do you take the Commissioner General of the Maritime Program and you make this man chairman of the CDC campaign committee? And the man is commissioner. He works for the government of Liberia. How do you do that? How do you take
it? Government payroll, using government time.
Government vehicle, government time, everything. And the man says he's on sabbatical. Sabbatical? The man is Commissioner General of the Maritime Program. And you make him chair of the Elections Commission? Where's the rule of law, gentlemen?
Chair of the campaign. Be careful.
Yeah. Where is the rule of law in Liberia?
All right, thanks for that pointer. Let's move on quickly. We ain't got much time. I would like to bring in a memory lane here by Manin Sumo, Manin Sumo, and this one is captioned "I Shed Tears." There was a time not too long ago, not very long ago, when I was again, for the second time, confined into my favorite couch because I agreed that I was sick and my life was over. But before I was struck with temporary paralysis due to neurological causes, I visited a friend of mine who is blind. And because it was noon, meaning 12 noon in the afternoon, he did something that taught me a lesson. I arrived at his house in about noon, and upon entering the house, he switched on the lights. So I asked him, "Why did you put on the light? Yet you can see." He laughed. For a long time, he switched off the light and found his way to the kitchen. After a short while, he came with some rice and pepper soup, placed them perfectly well on the table, and switched the light on again and said, "Let's eat." What he said after made me shed tears because he said this to me: "Mr. Sumo, I did not put on the light for my own sake or because I needed it. I did it for you because you needed it since you are not blind like me." Then he asked me, "Mr. Sumo, how many times have you switched off the lights for other people and denied them an opportunity to see light just because you yourself do not need it?" The question ran tears down my cheeks as I thought about that so deeply. Now I'm asking you the question today. How many times have you put off the lights or your lights and denied others the opportunity to see the light while they are in darkness? Why will you let your bank accounts grow to millions and even billions while your brother's child go barefooted? Why you put clothes you don't wear in the bin while someone out there is almost going naked? Why would food rot in your house while there's someone out there sleeping hungry? Why will you be in a position to help someone get a promotion or a new job and you keep it because the person is not from your family, tribe, or religion? Why will you gossip and make up false stories to defame your brother or sister just because you don't want someone to help them? Each of the questions preceding are equivalent to switching off the lights. Please turn on the lights you switch off. Switch on the light even when you can see. Switch on the light even when you are blind. I come in peace.
Excellent.
That's an excellent one.
Excellent.
The doctor has done it again.
Definitely he has.
So light symbolically doesn't mean just the brightness or the shine of the bulb. It means some of the things that would deprive people from having
opportunities.
All of that. But that was a great piece here by Mani Sumo titled "I Shed Tears." He wrote that apparently right after or before he had his temporary paralysis due to neurological causes. Gentlemen, what type of country is this that the president continued to preach the same message, the message of falsehood, that the Liberian economy is stable, that the Liberian economy is big, and he opens up his arms? What type of country is this?
What type of country is this? What type of country is this that wherever the president mounts the podium to campaign, it's indirectly campaigning for the opposition? Because everything he says is nothing but falsehood. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this? The president say he has the highest number of women ever participating in government when we know how they get into government. What kind of country is this?
What type of country? The president bragging of plenty of women in my comment, but then the year they say there are plenty of women and I hear what type of country is this Shaggy McCaffrey that he meant to say the Minister of Maritime is the Commissioner of Maritime can go on sabbatical for office?
Yeah.
Is this Brazil answered all my questions today.
What kind of country is this? The president got to take breath before he reached to his number on the ballot paper.
Me, all the ship.
The Lord country from 1 to 18, but very other breath when he got to 16.
Reach to 14, we say, let your mind go. We will not read that whole 18.
What type of country is
But what type of country is this? That sitting representative asking for more time, but he even know the year he ain't said people must go vote on October 10, 2022.
2022.
And
what kind of country is this?
The person makes this broad mistake and they can't even catch it and correct it.
No, they never feel what I think.
You're drunk or you high.
What kind of country is this? They say one of the sanctioned men since he left government, nobody has died like that.
What? The sanctioned men.
One of the sanctioned men. What happened to it?
Since he left government, we see people dying the way he was there. The people were dying.
They say people ain't dying like that.
Yeah,
the men left government. So send the men left government and all the people say, my man, you never make 18. That need to be the lane carry.
Much of a country was a YG where the president is counting 1, 2, 3. What type of country is this? Shaggy McCaffrey that the president never put effort in the citizens learning the basic numbers or counting. Now election time, the president teaching people how to count 1 to 18. I'm number 18.
Yeah. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this? People use so much battle cries and slogans to take away the time they should be talking substantive issues or telling the people the story they want to hear. You spend time, zigwe. You take 10 minutes to do that nonsense. Then you say one thing, then you come back again. Jose, yeah.
What type of country is this?
Important. You come here wasting my time with zigwe. Is that a limitation of your ability to address the people on substantive issues? Is that what it depicts to me, Moses?
Of course. What type of country is this? What type of country is this when the young people go in the street all day chanting, Wose? The man gets back home and asks him, man, you got anything here to eat? Almost. The man said, go back to where you came from. What type of country is this? And the next day, the man go here right and say, sedition, but no food.
What type of country is this? John Carl Harris. He says, when talk show hosts are wrongly spewing falsehood against a very popular president. Well, falsehood. That's good, John Carl. Congratulations. What type of country is this, Shaggy McCaffrey, that another country can send their military into Liberia to arrest a citizen? And the Liberian government did nothing about it. Sending another military into another country without that country's knowledge is an act of war. What type of country is this?
Yeah, Volcano, and that's a very salient point that you struck. Under international laws, when someone flees his or her border and enter your border and say, I cannot go back home and claim asylum, the law forbids you telling that person unless it is established that the person claim is fraudulent, the person engaged in some criminal activities, that person can go through an extradition proceeding. But you can't take the man and send the man back to the country that he's fleeing from.
But I wouldn't sending the man back to the country. Don't make that mistake. I'm coming. Where your people coming from your country and just taking the man. There's a process. There's a process, the legal hearing, the man will hire law. In fact, you Liberian governments will be providing lawyer to protect.
He's going to provide lawyer for this man to protect the man.
So that's the point I want to make. Come in, Abu.
As a student of immigration studies, we first have to know whether this brother really declared asylum through UNHCR and the government, and it was granted. Okay, minus that. If it has happened, then they are going against international law, because when he's granted asylum, it means he's provided protection, not to go back to that country or not to even go by.
But even under the circumstance, if the man didn't have time to apply for asylum, and this happened so much quick in a jiffy, it's still.
So they say he's been in Liberia since 2022.
Okay, just check. Just check.
Now, since this is the situation, let's also imagine this bogus group that we call ECOWAS and also MRU, all were intended to provide protection, security protection for one another. So definitely, if the other person comes and say this person is meddling into my country's security thing, they would really not follow up. But this becomes something when Costa ran to Sierra Leone. The current government did not make their representation very quickly, and they allowed the human rights
people,
lawyers in Sierra Leone to easily come to Costa's aid, and Costa were able to leave because our government had not made any representation. They were just making telephone calls. But for the other people, they came on the ground.
Okay, let's go back to whatever country. This is not
country is this. They just bundled the medication.
We already crossed the line.
But
okay,
let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. It was just somebody's stuff, and we're jumping out of 10 into a discussion. The country is this former Livingstone that the president takes pride in paying wire fee, but wire fee and the people feeling that you forgot to add that part to it. Whatever country is this that the Joint Security calls presidential candidate for guidelines for peaceful elections, but the president doesn't show up. Very shocking. Whatever country is this, Thomas Awaji, where people like John Carl Harris bask in the glory of America and support madness in the country. Whatever country is this, Flomo Livingstone, that seditionists will say President Weah is developing the country, but they are jobless. Whatever country is this, Shaggy McAfee, that Sierra Leone denied Henry Costa extradition, but yet instead of Liberian and our leaders standing up, according to my sources, they accepted bribe from the Sierra Leoneans and turned the man over without his due process under international laws. So they're saying that those people who came for the man, they brought something, they gave it to the Liberian side, say my man will carry our man and they get the man.
I mean,
what country is this? This is Liberia's last chance to redeem God help come October 10, 2023. So
what kind of country is this that people still asking who has a house in what country and in their hometown?
It's bad.
The other man, they had to put behind him before he carried TV to go show a house. It looked like the house was hiding.
Not coming though.
Sorry, we got to wrap it up tonight. We were intended to be here for 1.5 hours, and we're going 1.5 plus 5 minutes. Let me read this. Whatever country is this that the Liberian police have made a new color based on their uniform called faded blue. I like that, Shaggy. That's a beautiful color, faded blue.
That's a beautiful one. That's a new color.
Yeah, but man, the same man graduated from the academy only one uniform.
They got sky blue.
They
got sky blue, navy blue, so they got faded blue now.
Faded blue. Let's gotta go. We'll be back here on Friday, hopefully. I'm not sure, but let's work behind the scene to plan the program. Yeah. I'm traveling. I will be in Atlanta Friday for my church's convention, the Effort Baptist Church reunion. Friends of Effort, we're gathering in our numbers in Atlanta, Georgia this weekend. I will be in the land of Thomas Awaji. So just so you guys know, hopefully we'll broadcast if we do proper planning. But if we didn't come,
Right.
it's because probably for that reason, because I'm leaving here as early, to be there for Friday night.
Man, just make sure you bring my Duma.
Dumbo,
Yeah.
Atlanta.
no,
From Atlanta, my man. Tell Thomas to send my Duma, my man.
I'm not sure I will see Dumbo. Man, Atlanta B player. I will be way on the other side. Thomas is. I think Thomas is in
My
County.
man, Thomas, you left me home. My man will be your town.
I'll be way on the other side. You're talking an hour to 2 hours drive, so maybe I will catch up with that man. But
Yeah.
anyway, gentlemen, we want to thank you for coming here just to discuss the campaign and what's happening.
Hmm?
Jonka is still fighting for a man. Jonka, what type of country is this when the talk show host just realized that the campaign manager of the ruling party is a government official? In fact,
Yeah,
every
man.
previous government appointed sitting government official to steer his campaign. This is not strange to Liberia. Yeah, because we accept it. We accept it. So,
Does that make it right? You see how sometimes our people can be so low in their thinking? Is he telling us that two wrongs make one right? Is that
let me,
what he's saying?
let me quickly run down the list here quickly. Shaki McCaffrey, thank you. Thomas Awaji, John Carr, thank you for coming. Raymond Clark, Emmanuel Jackson. I would say thank you for joining us here tonight, guys. Flomo Livingstone, as usual. Good to see you, my brother. Emmanuel Jackson, good to have you in the house. Raymond Clark, Momalu Sayon. It was good seeing you here, I believe, first time. Fergie Moyu. Bennett Kerner, good to see you, my brother. Hamilton Zilli, good to see you. Edward Nefor, good to see you. Good to see all you wonderful people. Thanks for coming through tonight. Mohammed Kurman, Imani Sumo. Thank you, Ahmad Freeman, for joining us here tonight. It was a good show. Fergie Moyu. We'll be back here, God's willing, as we said, Friday. Gentlemen, good night.
Good night, Rob. Safe. Okay, guys. Enjoy.